You walk into Walmart thinking you're saving money, not gambling with your health. But what if the food you trust most, the bread, the deli meat, even the 100% juice, is quietly working against you? Across America, millions shop at Walmart every day believing the label tells the truth. Yet behind those bright packages lie cost-cutting shortcuts, expired rotations, and chemical additives that would never make it onto the front of the box. Former employees are beginning to speak out, exposing what really happens before those fresh products ever reach your cart. And what they reveal will make you question not only what's in your food, but who's profiting from your trust. Because every dollar saved may come with a hidden cost, one that shows up not on your receipt, but in your body. Are you sure that the food you're feeding your family isn't the very thing making them sick? This is the Downturn Report, where the truth gets personal. Stay with us, because before this video ends, you'll not only know which Walmart foods to avoid at all costs, but also discover which brands still care enough to keep you safe. Number 1. Deli meats. Walk into any Walmart on a sleepy Sunday afternoon, and you'll find the deli aisle shining like a false promise under harsh white lights. Those rows of neatly stacked ham and turkey slices glisten inside their plastic coffins, sold as fresh daily, with cheerful stickers and patriotic font choices that whisper "trust me." But talk to the people who've actually worked behind that counter, and the smiles fade fast. The secret, they say, isn't in the flavor, it's in the illusion. Many of those premium cuts aren't cut from any premium anything. They're ground-up meat leftovers, the scraps swept off industrial floors, glued together with stabilizers and flavored to mimic the real thing. Think of it like the Frankenmeat of modern America, assembled in a lab-like facility to look wholesome, the same way a plastic flower tries to look alive. And the longer you stare, the worse it gets. Employees have quietly admitted that some of these cold cuts live double lives. When they're about to expire, instead of being tossed, they're rotated, repackaged, relabeled, and given a second chance under a new sell-by-today date. It's a resurrection that no one asked for. The result? You might be eating a product that's been sitting for days beyond what you'd ever guess. It's not illegal. It's just the gray area of technically within date, a phrase that sounds like it belongs in a courtroom rather than a grocery store. Then comes the chemistry lesson no one asked for. Those pink, glossy slices owe their color to sky-high sodium and nitrates, the same chemicals once used to preserve ammunition rations during wartime. They don't just keep your ham looking lively, they keep your arteries busy fighting off hypertension. For millions of older Americans living on fixed incomes and juggling heart meds, these aren't deli treats. They're ticking sodium grenades. And when you factor in the whispers of antibiotic residue from factory farms that cut every possible corner, the cheap lunch meat starts to look more like a slow poison, neatly priced at $3.99 per pack. The cruel irony? Every tray looks perfect, every label claims freshness, and every advertisement tells you it's the smart buy. Yet Walmart's corporate silence on these insider practices is deafening. It's a system that feeds on confusion, where affordability becomes the bait and your health the catch. Still, all hope isn't lost. If you want real meat that doesn't double as a science project, look for brands that hold themselves to higher standards. Applegate Naturals, Boar's Head, True Story Foods, Organic Valley, or Dystal Family Ranch. They cost a few bucks more, yes, but that's the price of sleeping at night knowing your sandwich won't fight back later. Number 2. White bread. It's the kind of thing everyone grabs without thinking. A loaf of soft, white bread sitting pretty at $1.99, smelling faintly of comfort and childhood lunches. It's quick, it's cheap, and it looks innocent enough, right? But according to several Walmart employees, this is one product they quietly leave behind, even when it's on sale. The reason? What looks like a simple staple is, in truth, one of the most hollow purchases in the entire store. Beneath that golden crust and fluffy texture hides a system built on illusion. An illusion that's been feeding America's poorest households for decades while quietly robbing them of real nutrition. Employees describe a cycle that feels like a silent hustle. Loaves nearing expiration don't always go in the trash. Instead, they're recycled. Older bread gets shuffled to the back, fresher loaves to the front, and the mold-speckled ones often find their way to the discount rack with a bright yellow sticker screaming "Manager's Special." It's legal, it's efficient, but it's also the kind of penny-pinching trick that turns the bread aisle into a quiet con job. And while the packaging looks neat, some workers have spotted weak seals or torn corners that let in moisture, drying out the edges or worse, letting mold quietly bloom before anyone notices. By the time it's on your kitchen counter, you might already be slicing into something that's halfway to compost. But let's talk about what's inside that bread. Most of Walmart's cheap white loaves are puffed up with refined, bleached flour, grains that have been stripped, processed, and chemically whitened until there's barely a whisper of nutrition left. The dough is then pumped with leavening agents and softeners to make it appear full, a clever bit of food theater that gives you 20 slices of airy nothing. No fiber, no protein, no real minerals. For older Americans watching their blood sugar or digestion, that means every sandwich is a short-lived illusion of fullness that fades before you've even finished your coffee. It's a cruel trick disguised as convenience. A loaf that fills the stomach but empties the body. And the saddest part? Walmart knows this kind of bread sells because it's cheap, and they know people living paycheck to paycheck will keep buying it, hoping for the same comfort it once gave their parents. It's not about feeding families anymore. It's about feeding margins. But there's still a better way. If you want bread that actually nourishes rather than deceives, look for brands like Dave's Killer Bread, Ezekiel 49, Silver Hills Bakery, Pepperidge Farm, Whole Grain, or Nature's Own perfectly crafted wheat. They're not miracles, but at least they're real food. And in times like these, that's worth more than any sale tag. Number 3, tomato ketchup. It's the red bottle that feels like home, sitting loyally in the fridge door beside the milk and butter, ready to drown fries, hot dogs, or scrambled eggs in a sugary embrace. For decades, ketchup has been America's comfort condiment, the familiar sweetness that makes everything taste just a little better. But that comfort, Walmart employees warn, comes with a hidden price. The ketchup most families toss into their carts without thinking, especially Walmart's cheapest private label bottles. Isn't the tomato-rich sauce you think it is? It's a red illusion built from syrup, chemicals, and nostalgia. The shocking truth? Many of these bottles contain more sugar than tomato. Insiders have whispered what few customers ever realize. A single medium-sized bottle can be made up of 20 to 25% sugar, or its cheaper cousin, high-fructose corn syrup. That syrup thickens the sauce and keeps it shiny, but it's the same ingredient doctors have linked to obesity, insulin resistance, and liver problems. The trifecta haunting millions of older Americans today. Read the label carefully, and you'll find something unsettling. Corn syrup often comes before tomato paste. That means you're not tasting the fruit of the vine, you're tasting a chemistry set designed to mimic it. As one former employee quipped, "We're really just dipping fries in red syrup." It's funny until you realize your vegetable serving has more sugar than a cookie. Then there's the shelf life trickery. Some employees admitted that when ketchup sales slow, older bottles get rebranded or shuffled forward, labeled with a fresh look and a discount price. They're still within date, but that doesn't mean they're fresh. The color fades slightly, the flavor turns flat, yet the seal is tight, the label gleams, and nobody suspects a thing. Walmart's relentless push for low prices has created a ketchup paradox. A condiment that's cheap enough to flood every pantry, but costly enough to wreck long-term health one squeeze at a time. The danger isn't just in one meal, it's in the repetition. A drizzle on your eggs, a squirt on your fries, a spoonful in your stew, and suddenly your daily sugar intake has doubled before breakfast. For seniors battling diabetes or hypertension, that innocent squeeze could quietly undo weeks of careful diet. And yet, because ketchup has been around since childhood, it feels safe, a habit too small to question. But not everything red belongs on the plate. If you want real ketchup that actually honors its name, skip the corn syrup cocktails and reach for Primal Kitchen Organic Unsweetened Ketchup. Sir Kensington's Classic, Annie's Organic, true made foods, no sugar added, or good food for good ketchup. They're pricier, yes, but they give you what ketchup was meant to be. tomatoes, vinegar, and a little truth. Number 4, canned tuna. It hides in plain sight. Those neat little silver cans stacked low on Walmart's shelves, promising cheap protein and easy meals. For many Americans, especially families counting every dime, canned tuna feels like an old friend, dependable, affordable, and long-lasting. But open one of those cans today, and you might find something that looks and smells a lot less friendly. The texture's mushy, the flakes fall apart like wet tissue, and the liquid inside sometimes resembles cloudy dishwater more than ocean brine. It's no wonder several longtime Walmart employees quietly admit they wouldn't bring it home anymore. What used to be a symbol of simplicity has turned into a cautionary tale, proof that convenience often comes with a hidden cost. Not long ago, tuna was the working man's steak, firm, flavorful, and packed with real meat. But now, as global shipping costs climb and import tariffs squeeze margins, manufacturers have found a cheaper trick: cutting corners instead of quality fish. What you're getting in those 5-ounce cans isn't the thick, solid white tuna of yesterday. It's leftovers. Shredded scraps swept from production lines, mixed with extra salty brine to bulk up the weight. Sure, the label still boasts 5 ounces, but in reality, you're paying for liquid, not fish. And here's the murkier truth. Many of Walmart's low-cost tuna brands source from suppliers in countries with notoriously weak fishing regulations. The label may proudly say packed in USA, but that only means it was sealed here. Not caught, not cleaned, not checked for safety abroad. What's swimming beneath that lid is a mystery wrapped in marketing. This isn't just about taste, it's about trust. Each can look the same, but what's inside varies wildly. Some barely edible, some tainted with preservatives or questionable oil mixtures. You won't know until you've already stirred it into your salad or sandwich. For older Americans who grew up trusting canned goods as a safety net, this kind of quiet deception feels like betrayal. Cheap food was supposed to be survival, not roulette. But Walmart's tuna aisle has turned into exactly that, a gamble between saving money and swallowing regret. So what's left for those who still crave real tuna without the chemical aftertaste or guilt? There are brands that haven't sold their soul for a margin point. Wild Planet, Safe Catch, American Tuna, Ocean Naturals, and Poland Line. They use responsibly sourced, sustainably caught fish with clear traceability. Real cuts, not sludge. They might cost a bit more, but when the alternative smells like corporate neglect in a can, that extra dollar feels like an investment in peace of mind. After all, no one should have to question whether their lunch came from the sea or the factory floor. Number 5, frozen pizza. It's the perfect American shortcut. 10 minutes in the oven, $3 and some change, and dinner's done. Walmart's frozen pizzas are stacked by the hundreds in their freezer aisles, promising convenience and comfort in a bright, round box that looks like a Saturday night solution. But ask the employees who actually handle them, and you'll get a very different picture. Many will tell you without hesitation that Walmart's frozen pizzas are among the worst products in the entire store. It's not just that they taste bad, it's that they pretend to taste good. The crust is the first betrayal. Thick, dry, and eerily reminiscent of cardboard, it only behaves if you bake it with scientific precision. Miss the timing by even a minute, and you'll either crack a tooth on the crust or bite into a center so soggy it feels half raw. As one worker joked, "You don't slice it, you survive it. The deeper you look, the uglier it gets." That dough, often made months in advance, frozen, thawed, and refrozen before it ever reaches the shelf. By the time it hits your oven, the yeast has given up, leaving a texture that fights back instead of feeding you. And those toppings that look so generous on the box, that thick layer of cheese, the golden pool of barbecue sauce, those meaty chunks of chicken, are mostly optical illusions. Inside the box, you'll find a few sad shreds of something that vaguely resembles meat, scattered like confetti at a cheap party. The cheese isn't really cheese at all. It's a synthetic blend of vegetable oil, milk powder, and artificial flavoring. Instead of melting, it puddles like molten plastic, a sad little chemistry experiment you never meant to eat. Even the sodium tells a grim story. A single medium pizza can pack 900 to 1,200 milligrams of salt, nearly 60% of the daily limit. For anyone managing high blood pressure, that's like taking a bite out of a salt lick. Pair it with a soda or chips, and you've basically turned your meal into a medical warning label. Some employees even revealed that pizzas sometimes sit in freezers with inconsistent temperatures, forming thin layers of frost that make the dough soggy and the toppings clump together. Others said crushed crusts or split boxes often still make it to the shelves, sold like nothing's wrong. The end result? A meal that's supposed to be easy becomes a disappointment that lingers long after the plate is empty. Pizza used to mean warmth, togetherness, and comfort, a food that brought people closer. Now, Walmart's bargain bin version feels like a factory's afterthought, a circle of synthetic calories masquerading as nostalgia. If you still crave that comfort without the corporate aftertaste, try reaching for brands that treat pizza like food, not filler. Amy's Kitchen, California Pizza Kitchen, Newman's Own, Screamin' Sicilian, or Against the Grain Gourmet. They cost a few bucks more, but at least when the cheese melts, it's real. And the only thing left over is satisfaction, not regret. Number 6. Yellowstone baked beans. Few things feel more American than cracking open a can of baked beans. That familiar pop, that sweet, smoky scent, that memory of backyard barbecues and church picnics. For a little over $1, Walmart's Yellowstone baked beans promise exactly that. Comfort in a can. They sit right there on the shelf near the store's entrance, cheerful and unassuming, next to the ketchup and hot dog buns. But according to several Walmart employees, that cheerful exterior hides a darker reality, one that's making even loyal shoppers think twice. What seems like the easiest dinner side dish might actually be one of the riskiest corners Walmart cuts. Employees have quietly confessed that in many stores, those cans are stored all wrong. Even though they're non-perishable, Yellowstone baked beans are often left near doors or end caps where sunlight pours in and temperatures swing all day long. The result? Cans that swell slightly, liquids that ferment, and beans that smell off, all while still technically within date. Several customers have complained of opening cans that hiss like soda, with cloudy liquid or strange tangy odor. That's not smoky sweetness. That's spoilage in slow motion. And while Walmart could easily fix it with better storage, insiders say cost-cutting always wins the argument. Then there's the sugar, the hidden menace no one talks about. A single small can of Yellowstone beans contains nearly 15 grams of sugar, about as much as a mini can of cola. But you won't see that on the front label in big bold print. Instead, you'll find words like molasses, corn syrup, and brown sugar buried in the ingredients list, each one stacking sweetness until the side dish becomes dessert. For anyone battling diabetes, high blood pressure, or heart issues, that's not dinner. That's a trap disguised as tradition, and the worst part, it's marketed toward families who are just trying to make ends meet, who trust that a can of beans still means something simple and safe. One employee even admitted seeing shipments arrive with rust forming around the lids. The cans weren't technically damaged, so they were wiped down and shelved anyway. It's the kind of corner cutting that looks small until you realize people are eating what corporations wouldn't dare serve themselves. What's inside those cans isn't just beans. It's a reflection of how much big retail thinks it can get away with. Because when you're tired, broke, and trying to feed your family, you don't have time to read labels or inspect lids. You trust the system, and that's exactly what it exploits. If you still love that classic taste but want to avoid the chemical sweetness and corner store storage roulette, look for better brands that actually honor the word baked. Try Bush's Best Reduced Sugar, Amy's Organic Vegetarian Beans, Eden Foods Organic Baked Beans, Heinz No Added Sugar, or Good & Gather Organic Maple Beans. They might cost a few cents more, but what you're really buying isn't beans. It's peace of mind, one can at a time. Number 7, canned chicken and beef stew. It's the kind of pantry food people depend on when times get rough. Those small silver cans of chicken and beef stew lined up neatly in Walmart's aisles, promising warmth, comfort, and simplicity. $2 a can, no cooking, no mess, no worries. For families juggling bills and shrinking grocery budgets, it's supposed to be the kind of meal that gets you through. But the truth, as revealed by Walmart's own employees, is that these cans often hold more disappointment than nourishment. Behind that glossy label showing hearty chunks of meat and vegetables lies something that barely resembles food, and sometimes something worse. Employees from Walmart's storage departments quietly admit that these cheap cans have an unusually high return rate, not because they're expired, but because of what happens the moment customers open them. Many describe the same experience: a sour, rancid odor that fills the room, liquid that's cloudy, slimy, or thick like spoiled cream, and chunks of chicken or beef that look less like meat and more like mystery paste. Customers have complained that the chicken often turns out to be mostly skin and fat, while the beef stew is watery, with only a few pitiful meat specks floating around like survivors in a sinking soup. It's a betrayal served in tin, the kind that makes you question every bargain you thought you scored. The reason, insiders explain, lies in cost cutting. As ingredient prices and shipping fees skyrocket, manufacturers quietly stretch recipes to keep prices steady. That means less real meat, more liquid filler, and cheaper ingredients swapped in to mimic the old recipe. Some batches of beef stew have even shown slightly bulging lids, a chilling sign of fermentation or bacterial activity beginning inside. When that happens, employees are told either to send the batch back to the warehouse or quietly move it to the clearance section. No warnings, no recall signs, just a silent reshuffle, out of sight, out of accountability. And while Walmart's ads boast of value, the real cost shows up elsewhere: wasted money, wasted meals, and eroded trust. Because when you open a can hoping for dinner and instead get a smell strong enough to drive you out of your own kitchen, it's not just bad food, it's broken faith. For many shoppers, these cans symbolize something deeper: how big corporations exploit desperation. When you're struggling, you reach for what's cheap, and that's exactly what they count on. But eating on a budget doesn't have to mean eating regret. There are canned meals that still honor the basics of real food: Wolf brand chili, Pacific Foods organic chicken stew, Annie's homegrown organic soups, Campbell's Well Yes, or Kettle and Firebone broth soups. They might cost a few dollars more, but at least they deliver what the label promises: real meat, real taste, and real integrity. Something that no clearance sticker can replace. Number 8. Microwave popcorn. It's the sound every American knows. The soft, rhythmic pop from the microwave that means movie night has officially begun. $1, maybe $2, and you've got that warm, buttery smell filling the room, the promise of comfort, the illusion of something harmless. But the truth hiding in those cheap Walmart popcorn bags could ruin more than your appetite. Employees have quietly admitted they won't touch the store-brand microwave popcorn anymore. One said they tried it once out of curiosity, and that the smell wasn't buttery at all. It smelled like melted plastic and paint thinner, they confessed. That's not nostalgia. That's chemistry at work. The secret lies in what gives that buttery aroma. To keep prices low, many bargain popcorn brands, including Walmart's Great Value line, rely on hydrogenated oils and artificial butter flavoring, a lab-made blend of industrial vegetable oils and synthetic compounds. When those oils are heated at high temperatures, they can release diacetyl, a chemical once infamously linked to popcorn lung, an irreversible condition that inflames the lungs and scars breathing tissue. It got its nickname because factory workers who handled this artificial butter flavoring were literally breathing poison. The FDA allows tiny traces in food products, but if you're popping a bag every few nights, that tiny amount can quietly add up over months, even years. It's not just popcorn, it's a slow inhale of risk. And the issues don't stop there. Stocking employees have pointed out another ugly truth. Quality control on these cheap bags is hit or miss. Some batches split open at the seams mid-pop, leaking buttered vapor into the microwave, while others have linings that peel away from the bag itself, releasing flakes of chemical coating onto the popcorn. Those half-popped kernels and burnt patches? They're not just annoying, they're proof of shortcuts in manufacturing that put savings above safety. Each kernel might as well whisper, "You get what you pay for." Even the snack math is a trick. A single serving, barely a couple of handfuls, can pack between 300 and 500 milligrams of sodium, plus artificial colors, anti-caking agents, and corn syrup solids. Pair that with a soda, and you've got a blood pressure bomb disguised as a cozy treat. For older adults managing hypertension or blood sugar, that light snack can send your system into overdrive. And yet, because it's cheap, familiar, and easy, it keeps ending up in millions of microwaves every week. A perfect example of how comfort food can quietly turn into a health hazard. If you still crave that popcorn warmth without the chemical cloud, skip the microwave mystery bags and grab brands that use real ingredients. Lesser Evil organic popcorn, Quinn Snacks, Real Butter microwave popcorn, Black Jewel, Simply Sea Salt, or Skinny Pop Sea Salt. They pop clean, smell real, and won't leave your kitchen stinking like a chemistry lab. Because no movie night should come with an inhalation warning label, especially when the credits haven't even rolled. The truth isn't on the label. It's in the choices we make. Stay aware, stay healthy, and subscribe for more.
Thanks a lot for sticking with us to the very end. If you found this video useful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you won't miss any daily uploads. And now go ahead and explore some of our top recommended videos popping up on your screen. Goodbye, and see you in the next one.